Hey everyone, welcome to I Totally Love It. My name is Susan, and this video is part of a series for Teresa Conway Hayes. She has a series this month in March called Junk Journal Journey, where we kind of go through terminology and show you some examples for things that go in junk journals. And so week 4 and the final week is storage ephemera. Well, technically, it's ephemera and embellishments, and I said I would get up here and talk about storage ephemera. So, to me, and I hope I'm doing this right, Teresa, to me, storage ephemera are the things you put in your journal that hold other things. So, I've pulled out my box of journals here, and so we're going to go through some examples. Um, so, you'll have to bear with me. I'm going to try to be kind of quick, though, because we have a little storm brewing outside here. All right, so this was August 2024's Junk Journal Madness Journal. And so in a journal, you can put in envelopes that were already made. And this was a craft one, like a little policy style envelope. You can absolutely make those on your own with some paper and some eyelets. And I can do this. I can do it. There we go. Then there's just a regular rectangle shaped pocket. You can, uh, put a thumb hole notch in that with your circle punch. Um, and then, of course, this is top loading, but you could make a side loading pocket. And then we have, well, this is like, technically, I guess it's a pocket because I glued on 3 sides, but I called it a side tuck. So there's tuck spots. Tuck spots are technically, I mean, there's no rules in junk journaling. Let's just go there, okay? um, but pockets tend to have 3 sides of glue, and tuck spots tend to have 1 or 2. And so let's see if I can find. Here's another one in here. So this one was a flip up, and on the flip up, I've got a pocket there. And also underneath I have a pocket, and I kind of off-centered the thumb hole notches there to give it a little more interest. You don't always have to put it right in the center. You can, when you're making your signatures, incorporate envelopes into your signature. This one I had to deconstruct to get that in there and then glue it back together. But that would hold journaling things. It will hold, like, if you're using your journal for daily journaling, daily life stuff, that could hold any little a bit of ephemera you've picked up. Maybe it'll hold some tickets, or maybe it'll hold restaurant paraphernalia. You can use those cut aparts to make a pocket. It doesn't have to just be a piece of scrapbook paper or a text page. You can create yourself a little envelope pocket. This one is gusseted, meaning it's got the little called gussets, and you can make that as big as you want. And then I have the little closure here. I gotta put it there. Okay. And then I have this just a little pocket here, but this is a kind of a different style of journal from the norm that most of us make. Oh, this is a big envelope made out of scrapbook paper. Yeah, so similar to the other one, but that one was an actual envelope. This was paper turned into an envelope. It's a cluster. Let's see. Oh, there's a pocket there, and that's corner tuck, or you could call it a quarter pocket. To me, they're one and the same. And you don't have to put them always on the bottom. There's another envelope. Let's see. And that's a regular pocket out of a a digital. Here's staggered pockets, and I believe this top one is top loading. So um, you could put something in there. And I made a little, looks like a little notebook, but it's actually got a pocket in there. So another interesting way to make some storage. And then, of course, this is just waterfall. I don't know what you want to call it, a waterfall set of journaling things, but you could put pockets on those. Okay, and then let's see. This is a paper bag journal. So that's just a regular pocket. There's a little corner tuck. Okay, belly bands. There's a belly band. And so you can put a belly band on the page. You could put a belly band on a journal card or on a tag, and it'll hold more items. This is actually a label, but this is such a small journal that label made a perfect pocket. Here's like a frame. If you get Echo Park die cuts, some of the ephemera packs are called frames and tags, and just back it with a little bit of vellum or acetate, and you got a little, windowed pocket instead of a frame. So that's what that is. You can make your own if you have the right die cuts in your little die cut machine. Here's a little top corner tuck. Let's see if I have something to tuck in here. Just this little piece. Just something would tuck in like that. All right, there's another belly band. This belly band was made from a masterboard, but it could be made from so many things. I'll show you some more examples. A little corner pocket. It's just a little piece of that masterboard turned into a pocket down there. Here's a little, I call them a side tuck, but if you, I guess, glue it on three sides, technically it's a side pocket. And there's some more. And then with bags, you can make that a pocket in there. Okay, so we have pockets, belly bands, tuck spots. Where do I want to go? This was June 2024. Junk Journal Madness Journal. So when I made the actual journal itself, made these pockets, so that would hold nice big pieces of ephemera if you had those. Also, you can put a pocket on your journal cover, and CD envelopes. You can order these on Amazon. I put a big piece of one of those cut aparts from a scrapbook set in there. But I can still add stuff to it, and behind that, just regular pockets here. Let's see. So this one was created with a bunch of these tabbed pieces in there. Oh, you can make your pocket out of vellum. If you live near a Daiso, so if you're in Texas, they're in Houston and Dallas area. It's like Japanese Dollar General. No, Japanese Dollar Tree, and they sell different kinds of paper. Is that it? There we go. That's an up tuck or corner tuck in the top. That's an envelope. So you remember I was telling you could include that in your signature. All right, here's another type of envelope you could put in there. That's just one of those regular long envelopes. And you just cut each end of it. So here's a belly band that's holding a notepad. This is a horizontal belly band. Great for holding those little notebooks like that. It's a little side loading pocket there. Here's the other side of that envelope. This is a very loose binding. It's just ribbon holding it all together. Okay, let's see if I can get that to flip. This is where the flap from the envelope was. I just glued it to this piece of paper. So that's an easy way to use up the flap of the envelope. If you put it in such a way. This has a little, that bottom corner tuck. There's another vellum pocket. And that's a little staggered rectangle envelope series there. Okay, let's see. This was a journal I made as a guest collaborator for Belinda Visualize NZ for her kit Dancer's Dream. So there's that envelope flap turned into a pocket. And so then you'll see the other part of the envelope later. So it has a dual purpose. It's holding something in the actual envelope part, and you got a flap turned into a little side pocket there. Get these nice little party bags. And you've got the opening there where you can store something, and you also, the way you glue it, you can store it like that, so it's serving a double purpose there. There's a belly band. That's a full page belly band. To check some of these, it's been a while since I've visited some of these journals. This was a beautiful kit. I loved the colors a lot. So another way to hold an ephemera would be a hidden paper clip, and have several of those videos on my channel. Or you can just use a little regular fun paper clip. This one is a music note. All right, this one is I'm going to refer to it as a reverse wallet because it looks like a wallet, but it's the insides. And this was a Roxy, excuse me, a Roxy Creation Challenge, weekly challenge. So you just take your book page and fold it here, and fold this up. So this is all, and then you wrap it around. And the way you glue it is you glue it here and here. And you might want to put a little bit on the edge there, but you don't have to, because it'll pretty much stay in there. So then you have 2 pockets there and 2 pockets on this side. Okay. And then we've got, I don't think I turned that. Oh, I did. Oh, that is totally a pocket in there. Okay. But I don't have anything small enough to go in there. That's just a card. Yeah. Journal card. Let's see. And sometimes these clusters, I think some of these are just decoration. There's the other side of that little party bag, and you can just snip the end off. And if you have fun scissors, you can make a decorative edge on it. All right, so this is a little die cut that's been turned into like a tuck spot. Just glue it on parts of it, and then here's a little page edge. This is a page ruffle, but if I'd have glued it a little bit better, there we go. That'll hold your items as well. There's the other part of that envelope. That's just a die cut. Not die cut, a digital. I'm going to do that the whole video, I'm sure. Jeez. This was a library card turned into a pocket. So you can really use anything. Isn't that fun? I enjoyed making that. All right, here's a cluster that's been turned into like a corner tuck, but it's an up tuck. There's another altered paper clip. All right, here's an envelope that has a pocket on the front, a belly band on the back. Oh, that's not an envelope. That's a piece of cardstock. Okay. Okay, and this page was long, so you don't always have to trim that off if you can plan it, accordingly when you're creating your journal. You can fold it over and make a little side pocket there. This is a whole page pocket. You need to have this planned when you're going to get ready to put your signature into your journal. This is just scrapbook paper that's been folded over to make a pocket. Put a little thumb notch in there, and you can put nice long like brochures and stuff if you've collected something on your trip, or a menu if you collected a menu. This is just a piece of masterboard. All right, and then this is the other side of that full page pocket. And you could just glue it down, but why waste that opportunity to make yourself a little pocket there? Excuse me. Just the season for allergies. Okay, this is a flip out or a fold out. It was a piece of, I believe it's a piece of scrapbook paper that turned into a little pocket, but it hangs out on the edge here of the page, and so it flips out. And then there's other pocket, another hidden paper clip, and I forgot I did some of these things. I took a piece of sheet music, and it's hard to write on sheet music, so you tend to like decorate it, and so I just made a pocket on there, and then I just clipped it under there. Now it's the other side. All right, that's the other side of the. Oh, this is an envelope. Well, this is a pocket here. There we go. All right, here's the vellum pocket. So especially if you really like your paper and you don't want to necessarily take away from the paper, vellum pocket is perfect. Okay. And that's kind of like vellum. It's a different type of vellum. It's a little cloudier, so just have to shop around to different types of vellum. There's another vertical belly band. This was fun. All right, so this is like a zigzag pocket. So you've got a pocket up here, you've got a pocket here, and then the way you glue it, I have a pocket back here. All right, and then I've got that. Oh, this was, you take your scrapbook paper when it's really tall and you fold it up, and it'll make a pocket. There's a little corner tuck. There's the other side of that envelope. What's inside there? Journaling space. That's just scrapbook paper. All right, that was a fun journal to make. Some of these, like I said, I don't know if I said, maybe I didn't, are wrapped in bags already, so I can't open all of them. This was from October, Junk Journal Madness. So make yourself some washi boards. They make great pockets. That's scrapbook paper. So this was fun. Okay. I took 3 pieces of cardstock, same length, same width, rounded the corners, and then altered them. You have to put the bottom one on first, so you're gonna have to figure out how far out you want it to go. And then you glue them. And if you'll just glue the top and the bottom on the, like for example, the orange and the craft paper one, it makes a lot wider pocket. So it's the whole length of it. The purple one, of course, will be glued on all 3 sides, and it'll stop any papers from coming out. That's just a little altered paper clip that'll hold your ephemera. Corner tuck. This is an ink box. Okay, this is an envelope with a window that I decorated, and I turned it into, well, I sliced it open. So you can see the background there. On this side I glued just the bottom, so it can hold something much bigger than this. And on this side, I made a pocket there, and there's a pocket, on this side, and there's a pocket here. Kathleen Maurer and Linda's Paperworks, they do a lot with envelopes, so go check them out. Turn a piece of lace into a belly band. It'll hold it. This is the lace that's got a stretchy bit in the middle of it. So just some more of the same types of pockets. I'm looking for stuff that's different. That's just an envelope that I glued this way. So it's on this side. I could have glued it over here, but I don't want to cover up the coloring book page. So you could also decorate that and put something there. That was actually an error on my part when I was printing, because it's on the back of scrapbook paper, and this was like a single cell sheet where has a price tag on the back. So to cover it up, I printed another one of just the digital and used that as a uptuck opportunity. Fabric flip. All right, so here's another belly band, but this one was made from just square punches of scrapbook paper, cardstock. That's just a flip out. It's not really going to hold anything, but you can journal underneath it. Oh, and then the little party bags that you get at your kid's party. Cut the bottom part of it. Makes great pockets. Okay, here's that one, and then let's see. Okay, this is July 2024 Journal Madison. I'm currently using it for my Enchanted Dreams. Lori at Enchanted Dreams 71. She's having a year-long collabs, four monthly collabs year-long, and so I'm using this to do all those prompts. But you can get one of these index card dividers. That makes a great pocket. Put that on the inside of your cover. So some of these came from my junk journal sketches video. So I'm just trying to do something a little different. That's, it's just a pocket in there, but it's all one big pocket. So that was fun, just to do something different. This is that same reverse wallet, but this time when I put this tag on there, this label, I made a little side pocket out of it. And so you can take that and write on the back of that. And there's the other side. And when it takes up the whole page like that, it really gives you an opportunity to put a lot in there. So the bigger the page you use, the more space you're going to have. Okay, so this was an old greeting card. I just went and trimmed around her to give it some interest. And I didn't want the whatever happy birthday or whatever it said up there. And so she became a little pocket for me. All right, there's another belly band. This one was one of my prompts for Lori. All right, this is where I took a scrapbook page, and as I was planning my journal, I folded it up, and got to cut that there so it'll fold nicely. This one just looks like a regular old pocket. Basically, that's all it is. This was a junk journal sketches kind of decoration thing. And that's just decoration. There you go. You can make yourself a nice big design and turn it into a pocket. Here's another one with some altered cards. These are all scrapbook papers, just differing sizes. And, you just glue, like this back one, you just glue like a corner tuck on two sides, the side and the bottom. So you have all that space. And then this next one, same, but you do it on this side. And so you have all that space. And this one's just a corner tuck also, so it goes right there. Hey, should that change spots with that? Maybe. Okay. That's just decorated master board. This was something I got in Etsy haul. This is kind of a fold out thing here. And it had an envelope, a pocket in there already. So I just sewed it into the signature. Little tri-fold piece. All right, here's a cluster that became a tuck spot. This is an envelope that I made with my little envelope board. Nice to put in the middle of a page like that. And then you got storage place and you got journaling space. This was a piece of scrapbook paper. And I glued the beak here so that you have some room, but I don't want the beak to get ruined. So you can't, you could put something through the side there, I guess, but I didn't want it to get ruined. All right, here's a digital that I just turned into a little side tuck. Scrapbook page pocket. It's just a piece of scrapbook paper. All right, here's a little flip out. This is a, how do you call it, glassine bag that's been dyed. I haven't put anything in there yet, but put it on the edge. And it doesn't, take up too much space on the other side and cover up too much. All right, and here's another little cluster that became a little pocket. This was a fun design, but that's just a pocket. All right, that's a nice big pocket that I had to make for a prompt. All right, this is a fun pocket here. It's a little angled pocket. Let me get all the things out. So I believe this is all one. Yeah, this is one piece of paper. It's digital, but you could probably do this if you had thin two-sided scrapbook paper, but it's really not a thing out there. But if you took a thin scrapbook paper and printed a digital on the other side, that would work too. And then there is a fold. I believe I got this idea from Rach and Bella. There's a series of steps to folding that, but then you glue it like a regular pocket in the back. So you have that pocket, you have that one, and you have this one, and then you have this one. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 pockets. All right. Just a glassine bag glued in there. Turn it into a pocket for my notepad. All right, this one has different names. I just call this an angled pocket. This one I also learned from watching Rach and Bella. Two-sided paper once again, and however you glue it, like if I glued it differently, I could put something behind that piece back there. However, I did not glue it that way, so instead of 5 pockets, I only have 4. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right, that's that journal. And then let's see. So we've talked about belly bands, tuck spots, and pockets. So I think that covers a lot. But you can get creative out there. This is my current project. I have this thing flipping out from the file folder. And you could turn this into even more detailed of a pocket if I had made a little slit in that bowl. But I could add all kinds of little flip outs on that. There's a cluster that's turned into a corner tuck. There's a little altered thing there. And this one also, this is legit side tuck because it's just glued on one side. This was a thing I made for Junk Journal Sketches. It's got a belly band and it's a pocket. That's a belly band. So that was a piece of her digital kit. And that was in there. Turned that into a pocket, so a nice shaped pocket. I'm trying to make all my clusters multifunctional instead of just pretty. They hold things. So this is a tip in because to me it's a tip in because it's glued inside near the stitching near the spine near the binding. Anyways, the way I glued it, I now have a pocket under the envelope flap, and then I have the actual envelope pocket itself. So get creative. And this one's going this direction, but you could certainly have them. Wow, my camera timed out. I was saying, but you could have them going up and down. All right. And then I have this fun little page edge or side. Well, it was a little more closer. If it was closer to the edge, it would have been a page edge, but a little side tuck here. Just some of her digital pieces and then some glitter paper, and just barely glued them together there, and then glued just the edges. So there you go, and it stays in there. That's just a piece of cardstock covered with napkin. So your pockets, your tucks, your belly bands, altered paper clips, hidden paper clips, can be made in any style, and they can be made from anything. Get creative. If you like digitals, you can certainly get creative. So this was a design team project last spring, 2024, for Jovi, creating with Jovi. This is just cardstock where I just angled the pocket to give it a little more interest and to hold my digitals. Little corner tuck there. And then you can make envelopes to tuck in there. They don't have to be part of the actual signature, but they'll hold some ephemera while the pocket holds it. This was fun. This was part of her digital kit, and I just cut out the shape of that little mushroom there and turned it into a huge loading pocket here, top loading pocket, and just glued the edges there. So yeah, they could be top loading pockets. You can glue them where they're side loading pockets, and yeah, they don't have to necessarily come from the top. And obviously you're going to want to play around with your journal as far as what if it's side loading, where you want it to come from. There's a little up tuck there, and there's another digital that I just trimmed around the design and glued it in accordingly. And that was part of the digital, and just turned that into a pocket. Belly band from some cardstock, and there's a little side pocket. Just took a little decorative trimmer and did that, and then just glued some of her ephemera pieces. And then this scrapbook paper is a thicker paper, which is the cover, and then you can take the pieces that you trim off and turn those into the pocket that goes on the inside. So there's that one and this one. So yeah, and I have quite a few that are already like packaged up, so take those out. But if you saw something you want, just let me know. But yeah, so Teresa's idea was just to get the terminology out there. But in the end, like what we call something, what one person calls it, and what you end up calling it, or what the next person calls it, could be different. So, and they may do it slightly different. Like I said, a lot of my side tucks, I do tend to kind of maybe glue it more like a pocket. But it's something that's going to hold something on the edge of your paper. And yeah, you can hold I showed you where you could use the actual ribbon on the paper to hold your ephemera. So it's just different ways to hold your tags, your journal cards, if you're actually journaling in your journal, it's a way to hold, um, some pictures, some uh, ephemera that you've picked up at a restaurant or a site you visited. If you're a teacher, maybe it's I have a little collection of little notes that my students have written to me. Um, so yeah, you know, they can hold things. I know some of us are just journal makers and we don't necessarily get there and use our journal, but I encourage you to do that. Um, take one of your journals that you've made and actually start journaling in it. It also helps you as a journal maker um, realize maybe how you should do things a little differently with your pockets and your belly bands and your altered paper clips because you're actually using them and you have a better feel for them. So I'm not an avid journaler. That's why I'm participating in Lori's journaling prompts because that's really making me become a little more aware of the things I'm putting in my journals and how I'm designing those. So I hope this answers I can't even speak tonight. I hope this answers any questions you had about um, storage ephemera, which to me is ephemera that holds things. So like pockets, belly bands, side tucks, up tucks, corner tucks. I have a series, like I said, Junk Journal Madness, and if you go find that video, or if you click on my coffee shop, there's a page um, where it has ideas, and so on there you have different ideas for those pockets. You can make your own library card pocket out of whatever. It doesn't have to be an actual library card pocket. You can make different shaped pockets. There's the whole circle pocket. And I have one, but I think it's in one of these that's sealed up. There's the wallet pocket. There's like the reverse wallet pocket. There's envelopes. You can make your own policy, your own coin envelopes. But you can use bags. Save the little utensil bags from the restaurant, and you can glue that or sew that into your signature, and use that to hold something kind of long. But that would be fun. And yeah, but this will help you with like different kinds of envelopes and um, pockets and paper clips and whatnot. So yeah, um, and I'm sure there's more out there that I haven't done yet and still learning. And that's why I love journaling because I feel like I'm always learning something new, a new technique, a new tip on something I've been doing, but how to do it maybe better, more efficiently. And yeah, just get creative. All right, guys, I appreciate you and your time. Don't forget to go check out Teresa and her whole series that she's been working on. I had planned to do the whole month with her, but unexpected emergency in my family, and so I've just been able to work on my week as I had promised. All right, guys, I'll just see you in the next one. So until then, bye bye.